Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, and I am here with
Brian Chen.
and
Anthony Shu.
And what'd you guys play and what'd you guys plays?
We both got top 64 with 10 Ply Dragon, different style though.
Rock style 10 by Dragons.
Yep.
Okay, and you want to do any shout outs before you hop in?
Before I shout out anyone, shout out to the DB Grinder for the Gemini spreadsheet.
Oh god, yes.
God, yes.
Check it out, 100% conversion rate.
100%.
And I want to shout out like my friends, my family, everyone who supported me, everyone I beat online playing this deck. And I even played a couple of them in Swiss and still beat them, so this deck's really good.
Shout out Best of the Best group chat. Shout out Brian. Shout out Austin.
God, yes.
Chinese Discord.
Also, shout out for Anthony for going undefeated at a remote regional, keeping it so low key that no one knew about it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, want to hop into the deck list?
Yeah, of course. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll try to explain the best way possible without over-explaining it. So play 3 Nephrim. This is like one of the best starters. It's a starter that, when used for fusion material, it can summon itself back from the grave, not cost, so you can add cards mid-chain and then send it. It gives you 2 normal summons, so it helps you normal summon Armadillo, which is like one of your worst starters because you can get stuck on it because it's not a Gem Knight monster. But otherwise, it starts with a light for Seraph Knight, which you'll see why later. But it's yeah, this is a really good starter. And then 3. This is like pretty much like only good going second. Otherwise, just like a name for Seraph Knight normal summon. So what happens if your opponent controls a monster? You can send it from your hand to the grave, and you can set a continuous fusion spell. Most of the cards in this deck are like branded fusions, and they really only work when your opponent controls a monster. So yeah, usually when you resolve the fusion spell that this sends, usually you should win the game, because this deck primarily plays a lot of board breakers and stuff to like equalize the game. So yeah, this card's really good. And then for the other Gem Knights, play 2 Armadillo and 2 Hollow Core. Armadillo on normal summon just grabs any Gem Knight, and Hollow Core is basically Mathmech Circular, but like it doesn't do anything by itself. But it does, like, in conjunction with the Gem Knight fusions, it can call by the grave pretty much any monster spell or trap, except during the damage step. And it also gives all your Gem Knights 1,000 attack, which a lot of people don't like remember or like forget. So yeah, this insulates you from Nib and like the Ame like board wipe, and it's like really good. So yeah, those are the Gem Knight monsters we played in the main deck. And then for the non-engine hand traps, we played 3 Fualos, 3 Perulia, and 3 Droll. So you're not really trying to like stop them. You're just trying to like get as many cards as possible since it's like primarily board breaks. And Droll I think is the only exception because you kind of want to like put them on like very little cards so you can like be able to like OTK them, which is primarily what the deck does.
And then one more thing regarding the Perulia and the Fualos for this deck specifically. Since you're going second deck, every card that they give you off of Fualos and Perulia is extra good because you're almost always drawing into cards that do more than a regular card. Like other decks, if you give them a card, they might draw into a redundant hand trap, they might draw into a hand they've already used. But for your deck, you might draw into Lightning Storms, Dusters, those cards that trade more than 1 for 1. So it's extremely dangerous for your opponent to give you, the Gem Knight player, more cards off of the Charmies. So that's why those are like extra good in this deck compared to like other decks.
That's fair.
And one last thing, since I did say most of these cards are branded fusions, when you Molcharmy them on their turn, it actually eats an Ash Blossom. It doesn't quite eat an Impulse, obviously, but it eats an Ash Blossom, so the likelihood of they'll have an Ash to stop your branded fusion is like very unlikely.
Yeah.
So that's actually an important thing. Like you actually kind of want to get this Ash. If you open 2, obviously you want to get 1 Ash. But yeah, this really like kind of targets those cards that would stop you. So it's like I think it's like really good.
Yeah, you're really happy getting this Ash most of the time.
Yeah, unless your hand is really bad, then you actually need it. It did happen sometimes where I got Molcharmy, or I need to Molcharmy draw a card, and then it made the difference. Like I do a starter afterwards.
Exactly.
All right, and then for the spells, played 3. We played 3 Gem Knight Dispersion. So this card's hella broken. This card is branded fusion. If you have Gem Knight Fusion in your grave by sending non-rocks from your deck or extra deck, but you can only use 2. It's basically a polymerization otherwise, and its other effect is that you can add any gem card from your deck or banish. So when you get Droll, what happens is you usually just banish the Gem Knights that you want to add from your grave from Gem Knight Fusion, and you basically just like work your way around Droll, which is really helpful. And this is kind of the weaker branded fusion, but it's still branded fusion, so it checks for Ash and Impulse and stuff too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then for like the other branded fusions, this one's hella broken. You guys probably remember from 2016, when this card was like pre-banned, I guess.
Best card in the deck.
Yeah, so it basically dumps all your names, but you only play 3 different names. I've seen it earlier, and it summons one that basically can like work around like boards and like hand traps and stuff. So it's like really good. Obviously, it's at 1, so you can only play 1. This one's kind of interesting. So Fiendsmith is like kind of fell off a little bit. So It's not as popular, but this card you can't really Caesar negate because it doesn't do any kind of activation, and Caesar can only negate cards on activation. So basically, it gives you a way to summon your Rysel Detonator to trade with Caesar, so you're able to like activate your other brand of fusion and stuff. And this is not one-time use; it's once per turn. So if your opponent like ashes it, you can use it in future turns if you get to like that kind of grind. Even though you should be winning the first turn most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, you run 2 targets off of ports. So if you hard draw one of them, you set the other one. But versus most Fiendsmith end boards, if you go for this, you can basically ignore everything that the Fiendsmith end board gets. The Caesar, the trap if they have it. Like most people don't even play it anymore, but if they play the trap, the detonator that you summon off of the scatter contests everything on their board, which is like so broken that you can just put it on like frame 1. You can just detonator your opponent.
Yeah.
We'll explain how it works later.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little complicated detonator, but yeah. And then the one true brick. So the reason why we play this deck, other than it's actually just broken, is there's only one true brick in the deck, and it's pretty much just poly. But like if you draw it, you can't hollow core because hollow core has to send cards from the deck, and we're not playing any vanilla Gemini's because we're trying to win. So.
Yeah, we're trying to win.
So yeah, so this is the one true brick, and I think one brick out of 40 cards, I would say is reasonable when it comes to deck building, but not like the 4 or 5 for like Rysio and like 2 or 3 for like Malice and stuff. So yeah, so that pretty happy overall.
Pretty happy with it. Yeah.
This card is like super good because a lot of your cards are very spell hungry, and you can like discard this. You can fuse like 40 times per turn. Like, really,
Yeah, and then the synergy with your Link 2, where you just start banishing a bunch of shit, and then have your Link 2 shuffle them all back.
Yeah, you basically just convert all the free spell card effects, and then your Link 2 will shuffle it back, so you were at net 0.
Yeah, you discarded one soft Brilliant, discarded off Prismora, discarded off like Droplet, like it's just so strong.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is quartz. Since it like sets from the deck, it plays around draw a lot. So if you don't have quartz in your hand, you always prioritize grabbing quartz, and then you'll be able to eat 2 other hand traps most of the time to win. So that's like one of the advantages of this deck. Doesn't lose the draw also.
Yeah, that's the misconception that this deck is weak to draw. This deck is weak to draw if you go first. If you go second, you have quartz access. Even if you have draw, you're just dead through it most of the time.
Yeah. But there's like multiple checkpoints that you have to go through.
Obviously.
Yeah. And the next card we played was a 3 Salesman. So this is primarily for Ligo Dancer and Rysel Detonator. But also what happens is if your opponent asks you to Charm Me, and they're playing a dark fire or water deck, you usually just call it Dominus Impulse. Like the Impulse mat right here.
Yeah.
So you mostly call Dominus Impulse, and you should be able. So once you call Dominus Impulse and your Brand of Fusion resolves, you're insulated from another layer of hand traps basically. But you usually dedicate your Hollow Core to Nibiru. So yeah, that's pretty much what you've been doing. Yeah. And then 3 Forbidden Droplet. I'll just pair it with the Lightning Storm Duster. Lightning Storm, Chain Droplet. Usually she's just winning the game. This card is 99% of the time going to be used against a Babushka. And the rest of the time it's for Detonator. Yeah.
Just all Detonator hate.
Yeah.
Don't want no Detonator on the field after.
Yeah, pretty much. And these cards are like especially good because we're also playing a 2 Thrust and a Talons. Yeah, and then you can also add Salesman too. This only comes up when you for Ligo Dancer, and then
Ladies and gentlemen,
these are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, just all the best breakers.
Yeah. The last card we played, this wasn't in our deck before. We were kind of bouncing between Call by the Grave and something else. I forgot what it was. But we ended up playing Imprint because for one, it also solves Detonator. It's a good 6 card to draw. And then this can simplify some games where it's like you kind of stop the problem. So this happened against one of my Mitsurugi Orcus matchups. So I had to Imperm Gear Suit, but he had Link 1 to send a Hard Power from the hand. And then I know my hand had breakers and stuff, so the only way I can lose is if the Galatea set Crescendo. So I just Impermed the Galatea and I was able to just like combo as power as I could. And I was actually supposed to lose that game, but my opponent ended up getting the activation of this card, which doesn't do anything, so I pretty much just won from there. So, but Imprint really paved the way to, success.
I had a game where my opponent was playing Rysio, and my hand couldn't deal with a Detonator, but they didn't have any Rysio monsters in their starting hand, so they had to access Rysio through Duo Drive. They special summoned out their Lacrima and then normal summoned out their Charmy, and I had my Imperm for that Duo Drive, so that like won me some games. Imperm is just always a good card. It's a card you can set off of Thrust if anything goes wrong. It's a great 6th card.
When you get drolled, actually, that's that
when you get drolled. When you get drolled, you can also set Gem Knight Fusion off of your your thing
And
Yeah.
droplet
and drop it.
Yeah, and also playing like the imperm for thrust. Once you get further in the tournament, people might make you go first.
Exactly.
Then you have like a good trap to start going first.
You got something to show for your board.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
pretty much the main deck, clean 40. Playing the only good cards. And then for the extra deck, we play 3 level 5 monsters.
For the combo.
We'll get to it later. Check out the spreadsheet, by the way. And then for the next 3, these are the ones that require 3 materials. So this kind of like just lets you access any of the Gem Knights. This is what you make to double attack because it has the most attack to copy the effect of double attack. And so this is the real reason why the deck is good, because once you resolve this effect, you pretty much win. So this pretty much summons any one of
Power Rangers.
the Power Rangers or the Avengers. And also has a cool grave effect, which comes up a lot, I would say, because you like a little extra push in damage. So Aquaman here, mandatory bounce when it's sent to the grave. This one is actually the one that comes with the most, because since Droplet halves the attack of the monsters, it's basically Shining Field Wingman, if that's what I remember.
The Flame Wingman
So
effect.
it destroys a monster, they take damage equal to the attack. So if you have a monster with 3,000 attack, they take whatever the damage from the battle is, plus a 3,000 attack originally, so it's like extra broken. This is discard to pop, so this is one of the cards that's like spell hungry for the Gemini Fusion. But it's free because Gemini Fusion isn't one per turn. This comes up when your opponent tries to like wall up with a bunch of defense position monsters like Ame and stuff, and like a bunch of other things. Also a Liger Dancer out because it boosts attack based on the attack of the Gemini that it attributes. And this card is actually like really important because this is like what helps you push through boards when you try to OTK them. So it's Rise Your Detonator on your turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish a Gemini card and then pop a face-up card they control. So it's not as good as Detonator, but it's like obviously it's like good enough to like eat the board. Especially comes with Vanquish Soul.
Vanquish Soul, yep.
When you hollow core your trap card, and then you can just like start popping the stuff after the field spell one after another. One time I Lady Rose Diamond for 6, I think.
I've resolved Lady Rose Diamond for 5 or 6 against Vanquish Soul. They activate an effect, you pop, activate an effect, pop, activate an effect, pop.
Yeah, you should just win like right away, to be honest. Like, it's really good. And then the last 2 Gem Knights were this. You kind of need 2 for Imperm, but otherwise you really don't need to. It's a 1-turn deck, once per turn. But yeah, mostly for Imperm. It shuffles like all your materials and it searches like pretty much any Gem Knight card except Demo Armadillo. So it's like
Also,
so broken.
This card is old. It's literally the same thing as Isolde, except the card it searches actually does something.
yeah.
Okay, I want to compare this to Isolde. I'm still trying to play the deck, so please no ban.
No ban.
Yeah. And 1 SP is kind of a utility card. You do need it to clear Baguska sometimes, but like to be honest, it really should have been Donner, I think.
Should have been Donner.
Yeah. The only difference is it's like less versatile, but you can't kill. But sometimes all you need is just an SP plus like a lot of stuff. So it's like I thought it was okay, but I might play Donner.
The amount of games I've won just putting 5 Wheaties in defense position with the Holocore engraved, more than you can count.
And last card we played was the turn skip. Yeah, when you get sent first, you get another turn.
Better have it.
You just win. You just
I
win.
resolved it twice because I played someone that went to my locals that also sent me first in top 4 of a case tournament, and then yeah, so I just he sent me first, and then you owe like 13.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when the people who think that like, oh, you can only go second, they're gonna send you first game 2, game 3.
I'll say the math is definitely in their favor, but there's a chance they can lose that one. But yeah. So that's the extra deck pretty much. Alright, and then for the side deck, we play 3 Ash Blossom. This is a very versatile card for when you're not sure if you're gonna go first or second.
Exactly.
Plus it's good against Raizio because as long as you can cut him off from a duo drive, the cross, you pretty much can out detonate it with most of your cards.
Exactly.
Because when you negate detonator, there's still a chance they can cross really mess you up. And then if you Ash Saji, a lot of times like you just cut them off of an entire engine and you can just deal with the rest. Though the Mitsurugi stuff isn't really that strong compared to this deck. Because like I said earlier, you can dedicate your Holocore negate to the Regeki because there's almost no way they can chain block it. So yeah, that's why we play Ash. It sounds kind of funny because our deck doesn't really list the most armies also. Yeah, so you really don't even need Ash, but it's just there.
Later on, though, I found myself signing this card in for Malice because I have quite a few cards that I feel like aren't that good into that matchup, and just having this to stop the MTP is good enough. Because a lot of the times you just need to resolve whatever you set off courts against that deck, and one of the ways they can stop you is with MTP. If you just Ash that, like if you resolve the card you set off courts, you win automatically.
Yeah, and then no, I agree. And then I don't need to explain that. We played 2 Beast Shields, and another thing that he was saying about like keeping Ashen against some of those decks is we're playing 2 Escados. We're not playing any of the Nemesis, like other Nemesis cards. We kind of want to just hard draw it or switch it up Bistro Magnamai. The reason why you like keep a lot of hand traps in, especially against Malice, is because, except Joel, is because you will kind of want like different kind of types in the grave for Escados, because if you Escados called Cybers, it's pretty much just over.
And also, if you paid attention to the main deck, Nephilim is a light fairy. Hollow Core is a dark fiend, and Armadillo is a earth rock. So all of your main deck monsters is fairy fiend rock. So even if you just combo off, you can just summon this. But also you have Droll, Charmies, Lancias, Ash Blossoms. The amount of like attributes and types you have engraved that you have access to before your turn even begins going second is so high. And plus, D-Barrier is a card. We didn't know how popular the card was going to be, but if you get hit by D-Barrier when you send them first, the chances that you can kill them that turn are very low because you can't access like 80% of your extra deck. But like, we play enough copies of this card that we might be able to see this card, and if we see this card, we can make this card like the end game plan. As long as we can call something, we might be able to get a second turn, combined with stuff like SP maybe, like clear the field a little bit, like buy ourselves another turn, and then hopefully that we can play the game, or just if this sticks. Also, this having 3000 attack and can be destroyed by card effects, if you just like play this card as first action against a Detonator or like Mitsurugi boards, you're not scared of getting trapped because this card can be destroyed by card effects, obviously, and the 3000 attack is competitive. It like threatens to crash into battle. It's like a plethora of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, did you get D-Barrier at all in the tournament or no?
Once.
I got once D-Barrier once too, but I still won somehow. Shout out to Sean Pittman. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Sean. And then the last two monsters I played were D-Barrier. I was playing one, but he added a second one last minute, which I thought was pretty good. I only resolved it once against the D-Barrier guy, and then
I only resolved one Nibiru, but the time I resolved it, it won me the game. So.
It also won me the game, so I guess it was fine.
It was good.
Hard to complain. And then we also played Darner, which
Should have been
missing Avenger from the first movie. So yeah, it should have been in our deck. Called by the Grave. Like it's kind of same with Ash, like utility go first and second. They make you go first, and they have like Ash, and you just call by the Grave, roll, same thing. DD Crow, there's a lot of stuff. I don't actually side in against Mitsurugi because like you never need to call by the Grave the guy because you want to resolve your thrust. Like,
yeah.
So like
no, it's also just the Mitsurugi interruptions can't beat your engine. Like you can let Mitsurugi end on their full board everything, and your engine cracks just that.
Yeah. And the last card we played, which is actually my only real contribution, was a Gozen match. So Vinkaso I thought was going to be very popular, kind of like, still kind of new duels advance and stuff.
Goated.
And then, yeah, this does summon like a light, so you kind of get stuck sometimes, but the cool thing with Gozen match and then prioritizing a card like Scatter Fusion is really good because this, like I said, is only once per turn, so you can just like spam a bunch of Earths, and not a lot of decks can like summon once and like the decks that you side goes in against can summon once again to like the right attribute and stuff.
And plus, when decks send you first, I had games against Malice where they send me first. I sided this in, and then I locked them on Splash Mage, and then I just kept summoning like bodies and bodies and bodies and bodies. And if your opponent can't play the game, it's no matter how weak your deck is going first, just bodies just win you the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to add?
Not much else. The deck's very straightforward.
Yeah, overall I'm just very happy. Like I said, shout out Anthony for introducing me to the deck. Our Discord's goated, low key.
Yeah.
The best. It was overall like a really nice trip. I got a Magnamai mat that was using the whole tournament. It was like pretty nice. I stayed with my friend Michael. Shout out to him.
Oh.
Thanks for the hotel room. Paving the way to victory. And yeah, we got the first like WCQ pack, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mass fire.
All right. Armadillo.
Armadillo.